Welcome to this movie Reedview with me, Cody Reed. This review is for San Andreas. It's directed by Brad Payton and it stars Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, as well as Carla Gugino, Alexandra Daddario, and Paul Giamatti. So this movie is easy to explain. It's basically a disaster movie about the San Andreas Fault cracking, splitting up California, causing this mayhem and destruction along California, basically leading up to San Francisco. And the main focus of the movie, the main story, focuses on Ray, which is played by The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. Ray and his family, and they're basically at different places, and the family's trying to meet up and protect each other and make sure everyone's safe. And so the movie really just focuses on him and how he's like a fire and rescue person, so he's used to saving people, but it's him and his family trying to meet up and dealing with this mayhem and destruction that's taking place from these earthquakes. That's pretty much all you need to know for the plot of the movie, because like I mentioned, it's a disaster movie, so the plot really doesn't matter in this type of film. But the movie is very cliched in what happens and what's said. For one instance, the parents, Ray and his wife, they're divorced, and this experience is probably going to bring them closer together, and they're going to fall back in love. But I just wish movies would stop doing that. Like, okay, you were separated and whatever, and this experience makes you come together just like that. So whatever. And then their daughter, she ends up finding this guy during this destruction that's taking place, and they kind of form a connection. And then of course, since it's a cute guy and a cute girl, they have to like each other. So it's very cliched that way. And also in the lines, there's this scientist played by Paul Giamatti. His name's Lawrence, and he's basically the scientist who knows about earthquakes and things like that. And he goes to the news with his findings and letting them know that they need to escape California. And anything that he says, it just has to be very cliched and dramatic. Like, oh, who should we tell? Everyone. It's like, come on. Oh my gosh, that's so dramatic. So yeah, the writing, the script isn't that great, but the acting's pretty decent. But what you really want to hear is the effects, since it's a disaster movie. So the effects are actually pretty good, minus a few scenes where I was like, oh, okay, that's not as good. But for the most part, it was actually pretty cool, where you get to see the destruction happening, like the faults, just causing this mayhem and kind of going up and down, and you can see this wave happening like right here. And then some other destruction scenes like here and here. It was just really cool to see those in these wide scopes of the movie. So overall, the effects for the movie were actually pretty good, along with some of these other factors. So to finish, if you're on the fence, go see this if you like good summer blockbusters or movies that you don't really have to think too much. But don't go see it if you wanted something besides just a cliched disaster movie, because that's all this is. But it does it pretty well, but it's still cliched. As for my personal rating, I'll give it a 3 out of 5 stars. It wasn't a great movie overall, with all these different factors, but it was basically what I expected. It didn't really let me down, and it was a pretty good disaster movie. What's your favorite disaster movie? Like 2012, Day After Tomorrow, Gravity? Let me know in the comments below, but make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I'm trying to build that up and get more subscribers, and that way you can hear my other reviews. And then lastly, send some emails to me at moviereedviews@gmail.com. Thanks so much for watching this movie Reedview.
Well, hello there. It's I, Sean Connery. San Andreas sure caused a lot of destruction, but not as much as I did when I played James Bond. I'll give this movie 6 out of 10 cigars.